Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dion's Daily Dose for Thursday, August 20th, 2020. Today was a long day. Tracking in Pinola. Actually, technically, Pinola is actually in the next district over. Area, right? To the left of it is where my district was. It's a little subdivision down there off of Joliet Road over by 39-ish. And I will tell you, there were a number of Trump flags, a couple of Trump signs. The one guy, I assume it was a guy because that's what the app said, but he had the Trump on a tank meme that I talked about in the past that I was going to put on the hood of my truck. But the wife was like, please don't. I'm going to show you. He had a flag of that actually on his, here, you should be able to see this, on his house. And it was pretty cool. Unfortunately, he wasn't home, but I did leave. There you go. You should be able to see that. He had this flag here, and I did leave my card. There were, like I said, several Trump signs, Trump flags. Unfortunately, they weren't home at those houses, probably because they were at work. Just saying. But there's a lot going on. I had a very nice conversation with a number of the residents there, and they all agreed. I told them who I was, why I was running, and I said our current state rep does not seem to care about anywhere other than Michigan City. And out of the, I don't know, maybe 6 people that I said that and brought that up, all 6 said, you're absolutely right. So it seems to be a chronic problem. Hi, Jack. Thank you for joining us. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running for this office. Like I told them, look, I do live in Michigan City, but I've lived all over LaPorte County, and I've lived up here in Northwest Indiana for the majority of my life. But Michigan City isn't the only thing in the district. It's part of the area and half the population. So the focus on Michigan City is, I believe, misplaced, right? Let me show you what else we have going on today. The Michigan City Council has extended the beach closure through mid-September. There you go. The Northwest Indiana Times reports Mayor Dwayne Perry's closure of Washington Park and other beaches has been extended through September 13th amid questions about enforcement and staffing. Councilman Paul Presbolinski, D. Second, and his brother Don Presbolinski, D. at large, voted against the city council resolution to extend the closure. Perry's executive orders to close the park beaches are limited to 7 days without council approval. The council has previously extended Perry's beach closures over concerns about social distancing while discussing ways the park might be reopened. Quote, we've been kind of kicking the ball down the field 1 yard at a time, Council President Sean Fitzpatrick, D. Fourth, said. Perry's August 13th executive orders to continue the beach closures cited COVID-19 statistics in LaPorte County and Indiana as reasons for the action. He told the council Tuesday night that LaPorte County seems to be doing well in regard to the pandemic. The real issue, he said, is lack of staffing. Quote, the COVID numbers are a factor, but they're not the bottom line, Perry said. College students who worked at the gate at Washington Park, where admission is charged between Memorial Day weekend and Labor Day weekend, have returned to school, and senior citizens haven't come forward to replace them as would happen in a normal year, Perry said. If I can find the people, I will open the beach, he said. The zoo has reopened, but admission is by appointment only to enforce social distancing. What's the real hangup with opening back up? Asked Don. Criteria here to open that park back up. There are concrete barricades in place at the park, Paul Presbolinski noted, but barriers at bus stops where paths lead to the beach have been tossed aside by beachgoers. At 2:30 p.m. Sunday, Don Presbolinski said he traveled along stops 2 through 13. I counted the people on the beach, and I tell you there was close to 550, 600 people on that beach, he said. The only way this is going to stop, and this is going to mean anything, is to have guards at every bus stop, he said, and the city can't afford that. Paul Presbolinski suggested putting up chain link fencing at the bus stops to block people from using the paths. Perry said there could be private property, and the city doesn't have the staffing to put up the fencing anyway. Fitzpatrick introduced an ordinance at the last meeting that could have given the park department guidance on how to regulate admission to Washington Park through the rest of the year, but the council immediately postponed action on it until the end of summer. Without an ordinance to cite and writing a ticket, Paul Presbolinski said it's difficult for police to enforce the beach closure. To me, it's like an exercise in futility. That's what this is coming down to, Paul Presbolinski said. Perry's executive order cites 2 state statutes as making violation of the executive order a crime. Councilwoman Angie Deutsch, D at large, said Perry had talked about possibly opening up the park without fees and monitoring the number of cars going in and out along with other options. Quote, but none of that was shared with us as to the logistics. We could pass this legislation, but they would still have to implement how it was handled, she said. We're between a rock and a hard place what we're doing here, Councilman Brian Dabney, D first said. I saw that the weather for September is going to be much, much warmer than normal, said Councilman Michael Mack, D third. That extends concerns about crowding on the beach. We could limit the cars to 24% of the parking lot capacity and still have 800 people on the beach, Mack said. Don Presbolinski said out-of-state people at the Beach Walk development are walking to the beach. Quote, the people that live in Michigan City are obeying the orders and they can't use the beach, he said. Beach Walk tenants are getting away with murder and we're trying to do the right things. That's where we are at. Now, as you probably noticed, the entire council are Democrats. Perry ran as a Republican and won first Republican mayor in 40 plus years in Michigan City. But as you can see, it is an uphill battle trying to get pretty much anything done. I'll tell you, I don't envy the position the mayor is in, trying to think about health and safety, trying to figure out, or can we open the beach? What can we do? We don't have the people to staff the ticket booth anyway, but people are continuing to come. And like he said, there's hundreds of people using the beach. What do we do? Let me show you a couple of things. I discussed yesterday, I talked about how there are people that are voting against Trump. They're not voting for Biden. They're voting against Trump. And as I pointed out, there are many, I've seen a lot of support for Donald Trump. I have seen signs, I have seen bumper stickers, I have seen a plethora, right, of support. I am not seeing the same for Biden, but what really bothers me is people are voting against someone. And we saw this in the primary, right, with people voting against McDermott, not voting for Mervan, but they wanted McDermott to not get the nomination so bad that they crossed party lines and they voted for someone because they were voting against someone. So let me show you. This is an amusing thing for me. Voting for Biden because you don't want Trump to be president is like eating a dog turd because you don't like broccoli. And This I want to share with you. It's been around a little while, but the two most misguided notions held in North America. Number one, our government would not do that to us. Number two, if they did, they would tell us on TV. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have talked before about the press, the mainstream media as it's called, and how absolutely off the rocker we've seen them get. We have seen fictitious reporting. We have seen whoever's calling me right now. Hold on. I use my phone for video, so I can't answer your call right now. I apologize. Whoever you are, I will call you as soon as this is over. In the meantime, Donovan went with me today when we went and knocked doors in the area, and he had a good time. He enjoyed it. It gave us a chance to hang out. For any of you that are considering becoming, number one, you absolutely should. Number two, if you have children, get them involved. Donovan can be very, very cute and charming when he chooses to be, and I do believe that it helps. I Hey, I'll take all the help I can get as well. For those of you, other candidates that may be watching this, by all means, recruit your children. Not only does it make the day go by a little bit better, you get bonding moments in between doors that you can have a good quality conversation. I'll tell you what I'm thinking though, when we were talking about this, is some of these more rural areas, like out in Pinola, for example, we got lucky because this area was like a subdivision, right? We went there, we parked the truck in a couple spots, did this area, moved, did this area. Some of the more rural areas, what we were considering was maybe getting a couple of bicycles, right? But then I don't know. I think the campaign shirt would be enough so that people, would know that maybe I wasn't with, like, I don't know, local church or whatever. I don't know. But maybe park somewhere, break the bikes out, right? Because I'll tell you, one of the things that it's just my personal belief, but I'm not going to pull up into someone's driveway and go and knock on their door and driveway to driveway to driveway. Subdivisions obviously are much easier. You find a single place to park and you can walk around the subdivision. But again, the more rural areas, it's hard to find a place to park. I'm not going to park on someone's property. I'm not going to pull up in their driveway. And, will that hurt me in the election? Maybe. I'm a firm believer in private property rights. So I am not going to help myself to parking my vehicle on their property. I'd much rather walk onto their property. So, it is what it is. We're also still trying to get some locations together for meet and greet / fundraisers. If you know of a location in, say, Chesterton, Westville, Michigan City area, that would be good. Let me know. I would appreciate the input. You can visit my website. The contact information is there. You can also email me at talk@dionbergeron.com and anything you want to talk about, but especially if you know someone that would like to be on the show or you would like to be on the show. Also, I'm certainly not going to turn down donations. We need it, right? We need it for social media. We need it for shirts and bumper stickers and pins and buttons and all the cool stuff that people have been asking me for. We will get those, right? We're working on it. I had a few people, both yesterday and today, tell me that more than welcome to put my sign in their yard, which I greatly appreciate. If you would like a sign, let me know. They yet, but they will be soon. And most places, you can put up a sign on your private property, whatever you want, but most places are 30 days prior to election. So beginning of October, you can generally start putting them out. I'll have them before then. So again, I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this whole is critically important, regardless of whom you want to cast your vote for. Number one, make sure it's someone you believe in, but get out and vote. I don't think there's ever been an election that is more important than this one. I really don't. It's from and all down the ballot, right? It is truly is for the soul of this country. So I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna go spend some time with my family, eat dinner. But thank you very much for joining me as always, and I look forward to talking with you again. God bless you. God bless Indiana.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.